everybody. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's like Thursday, and welcome to another episode of Showtime in Paris, brought to you by yours truly, Don't Get Tricked Podcast.
We need
We
some
have
bells and whistles.
Don't Get Tricked Podcast. We have another juicy episode for you guys tonight. And when I tell you this topic, so this was Show's topic, and we're gonna see how juicy this topic is, because I mean he's gonna spin us right into this topic. But before we spin into the topic, I just want to let you guys know, go out and subscribe to our YouTube page. We're trying to get our followers up so we could start dropping some more juicy stuff on our YouTube page, and we will drop the actual YouTube link at the end of the show. But I mean, what's our topic tonight? Go ahead and introduce it to our beautiful, wonderful guest.
Well, usually we a little ratchet, and sometimes our topics might end up in who like to be on the top and who like to be on the bottom and who prefer eating the ass over this and all that. But today we wanted to get a little serious. We wanted to hone it in, and we wanted to tackle a subject, that a lot of people go through. How important to y'all is approval from your parents on your mate? Ooh. And we'll also spin into how you handle disrespect from either side.
Ooh, this is going to be juicy. This is going to be juicy. So audience, we would love your participation because, like I said, I think this is a good topic. I mean, show, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, me, the way I grew up, I'm kind of, with most things, I didn't have an older brother. I'm the older brother. I didn't have like a male I went to seek direction or anything like that. So I think if you like put me on a psychiatrist's couch, I think that's the reason why my views may be what it is. I'm just used to going off how I feel about things. So to me, what I'm basically saying is it's not really important. I can care less, actually, if my parents approve of my woman or not. It means nothing to me. Like, I mean, don't get it wrong. I would prefer that they did, just because I like the peace. I like peace. I like everybody to get along. I don't want any issues. But there's no way I'm going to stop talking to a woman because my parents didn't think a certain way about it. It has nothing to do with that. If anything, I'll just keep them away from each other before I actually entertain cutting off my woman.
Have you always felt like that, though?
Yes. Like, I'm the kid. I used to go and score 3 touchdowns, and then I'll come home and wouldn't tell my parents I did anything. They'd be like, how was the game? It was cool. Like, so I wasn't one of those people that come in and confide in or look for my parents' approval. I never looked for my parents' approval. So when it comes to women, I just never, especially with that, like, you're not sleeping with them. You don't have nothing to do. You don't even know the person. So I really don't value their opinion on my significant other.
Right. I mean, when I was younger, it was important because I'm a daddy's girl. So I would say it was really, really important to me to have my father's approval when I was younger. Younger meaning, in my 20s, right? My early 20s, mid 20s. That was important to me because my dad is like literally my heart. And I'm like, if my dad approves, then this person is the sugar honey iced tea, right? But as I got older, I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if my mama approved, my daddy approved, because I have to be with that person. I have to put up with their sugar honey iced tea. Not my mother, not my father. It's me. So I would say their approval is it matters to them, and I'll take their opinion on it. But at the end of the day, it's up to me. I gotta come home and kiss that man in his mouth or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Lee, are you joining us?
No, remember he was working on something. He's working on a technical difficulty, so he said ignore him or something.
Oh, but I honestly think like parents' approval it's not required. I mean, because your parents can mess your relationship up, right? You could block your blessing just because you think your mother, don't like this woman, or your daddy don't approve of this man. That man could be your person, or that woman could be your person. Why ruin it because your mama or your father?
Well, one thing I know about women, especially mothers, and I see this in a lot of other people's situation too. Mothers are territorial over their kids, especially sons. Like, if you're a son, they feel like you just taking care of your woman makes them think that you're simping over a woman. They're like, why are you giving this girl this, that? I'm like, when you want your man to do this? Like, they're quick to think your girl's a hoe. They're quick to think your girl's a gold digger. If you got like a really pretty woman, most mamas will be like, they automatically look at the girl like, why you want my son? Like, they don't understand. Like, what do you mean, why you want my son? Like, people can't want me? Like, they think you must be taking care of their life or somebody's using you, and they don't like to get you, like, whisked away. Like, they feel like that woman's taking the priority off of them. So you can't really listen to your moms too much. Now, if they got something good, like if they seen her do something, or I'm actually like doing something and I'm looking weak and they pull you to the side and tell them, then I'll listen to your good advice. But as far as like, I don't like that girl and all that, I don't care who you live with.
Yeah. Mothers and sons have special relationships, right? I mean, I'm the oldest daughter, and I'm of course, like, me and my mom have a different relationship than me and my father. So that's why I was like, my father's opinion matters. My mom, her opinion matters too, but more so my dad. And me being on that end where I'm the woman dating somebody's son, I would say I've had that happen, and I've had mothers kind of paint me in a picture that's not me and kind of make their sons think I'm a gold digger, I'm a HOE, but I was totally not that person. And just because the mother saw that, oh, she's good looking, she got a sugar honey iced tea together, what's she trying to do with my son, like you said? And for me, I don't have any sons, but I would say mothers need to back up a little bit, because that woman is going to take care of your child when you're not around. You're not going to be there all the time to feed your son. You're not going to be there all the time to clean up after your son. It's going to be the woman. So to me, parents need to stay in their place.
Yeah, and I can understand fully with the daddy thing too. That was another spin on the topic I was wondering. So your dad, you go as a man, I go to your house, you want me to meet your daddy. You care, I don't give a damn how your daddy feels. But I'm a gentleman. I mean, I want him to like me because it makes it better on all of us. But it's not really mine. It's not like I don't get nervous. Like, I don't go to meet your parents and be like, ooh, like I hope her daddy or your daddy come do the tough guy routine, like Bad Boys 2 or something, like come to the door and he's standing there looking tough. Like, I'm not scared of you. I'll beat you up. Like, I don't care about your dad in no way. I'm not.
You don't be beating my daddy up, but go ahead.
I mean, I won't, unless the situation calls for.
Right.
I'm not worried about no other man, because I know that other men have enough problems of their own. Like, is your relationship going good? How do your wife feel about you? What things have you done to this woman that she's forgiven? Have you cheated? Have y'all been in a little altercation? Which I'm sure if you've been together a long time, it's some things you've done. So you can't really, if you're not coming to talk to me on an even level, or to try to give me some good advice, I'm not really sweating your opinion like that. But I understand that a lot of women do take their daddy's opinion because they feel like they want their daddy to be proud or approve of the man. Like, so you can reach his status, especially if you have a good dad and your dad's been taking care of you and he don't want to give you away to a bum. And by bum, I'm not talking financial, like a bum as a person. Don't care about your well-being. No better. Got you living worse than you should.
Mm-hmm. I think honestly, fathers, they know what type of man they are, so they don't want their daughter with the same type of man that they are. So it's more so like, oh man, is this person a dog? Is he, you know what I mean, financially sound? So automatically to me, and I'm of course I'm not a father. I would think that my father would be having all types of thoughts, like, what does he really want with my daughter? Is he going to break my daughter's heart? You know, even though the man is probably not going to care. But I think it is important for the father, because that woman, if that man breaks her heart, she has to go run to her father, or, you know, her father's going to have to make sure he picks up the pieces where that man left. So to me, I think you said like the fathers really don't really care. It's just, you know, it is what it is. But I think the fathers really do care, because also traditionally dads are supposed to pay for, you know, weddings. And if your daughter brings home a bum, sort of saying, not like you said, financial is a bum, but somebody that is not about his business, that responsibility is going to fall on the father. And I think when a daughter is a certain age, I think that daughter should leave the father and mother alone and solely rely on her spouse. So who wants their child to be in a relationship with somebody that they have to take care of both of them?
Oh, that's the issue. I've been in situations where one of the persons, like, you got to always look out, like the parent has to always jump into their kid's relationship and they have to pay for stuff. It's almost like they're the man of their house. Like, you know, they paying their rent when they behind. They're sending money for this. They're sending money for that. Then I can see the father not approving, because it's like, why am I taking care of your household? How come every time? Right. And another thing, women and men, people got to be careful about putting parents into their relationship, which enables the parents to get judgmental. If there's no
Yeah.
reason, if it's not a serious, real serious thing, not because you're upset, not because something didn't go your way tonight, if you keep calling your parents with bad information about your partner, they have no choice but to not like them. And then you wonder when you're back okay with the guy or the woman, and then you go around, you wonder why they side-eyeing your people and what's all this tension. They don't know nothing about the person until you told them this. So if you don't plan on leaving or doing nothing like that, you might want to keep people out your business unless it's absolutely necessary. And don't be asking your parents for nothing unless it's really important. Like, don't be calling them acting like you need $20 to go eat at Subway or you don't got no lunch money or whatever the case may be. Because once they feel like that, a narrative gets built and they're not feeling your partner.
So you saying perception is reality. So don't call your parents with stuff because it could be the total opposite. And women, we know sometimes we like to exaggerate things. You know why he ain't send me no lunch money, but he could be sending you lunch money every single day. Now, one day you call your mother, your father, he ain't send me no lunch money. Now your mother like, who do you think he is? Or your father like, he got some damn nerve not sending my baby lunch money. And their perception of that person has changed. So I'm with you. I done been in relationships where, you know, the person went to their mother, their father, and told them sugar honey iced tea about me. And they automatically took the person's side because that's their child. You're naturally loyal to your blood versus somebody else. So I agree with you. I mean, that ain't cool. But what I do want to say is if you are in a relationship where somebody is doing you harm, then you should let somebody know.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's but like, okay. I had situations happen where, let's say a woman did something questionable she ain't really supposed to have done, right? Let's say they get a text.
Example.
I'm telling you, let's say they got a text or like an ex cashed app them or something, right? So let's say you're sitting there and you see the Cash App thing come across their phone or something, right? And you like, who the hell is this sending you $23? Like, what the hell is sending you $23 for? You don't need no $23. So I was like, why would somebody have to give you $23? So you're like, who is this guy? Whatever, blah, blah. So you get mad or whatever. So you like, oh, this is that, blah, 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 blah. And y'all get into an argument. Now, because the woman or male or whatever is caught in the situation, now they can't handle it on their own. So they want to try to get outside help. So they call their parents. And they're like, oh my God, I want to go home or I can't be here. He's tripping over because somebody sent me 23. And then their parents look at you like, why are you being controlling? Why are you worried about that? Like, you putting people in your petty arguments to get out of stuff. And then once everything gets smoothed over, that person's still viewing you a certain way. Or you might be mad at their parent because you might have heard them say something about you that they shouldn't have said. You know, won't he leave my daughter the fuck alone? Won't he da-da-da-da-da? He shouldn't be worried about it. And now you're looking at her like, who the fuck you think you is? And now y'all going back and forth with their parents, and now y'all relationship not the same.
Wow. I agree with you. I mean, I usually don't agree with most of the things you say, but I agree with you. So Lee posted it. Yeah. So Lee posted in the chat. So if someone wants to join a discussion, please click the link above so that you can have a conversation with us because we are curious about your thoughts. We want to know what you feel about this topic. If you are not camera shy, you have a voice, tap in because this conversation is juicy. And you know, what's even more concerning to me is if a parent gives somebody the wrong advice and then they act on the wrong advice, how do you clean that up with your partner? I mean, will your partner be forever scarred? Like, yo, you gave your parent, you took your parents' advice. This is not what it was. Like, how do you clean that up?
Yeah, exactly. Because, and then once it's over, only you are left to deal with this. Like, you the one with no person. You the one without a partner. And then now when you up under them, they talking about you. Everybody looking at you like, oh, she's lonely. She's bored. She need to find her man. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody goes about their life. Everybody's good for a good, juicy gossip section. But nobody wants to deal with your issues day in and day out. And also, I want to say if once everybody joined or anybody's in here, if you got a story you want to share about a situation where you had a relationship with a partner and your parents kind of got in the way or how y'all got through it, click on. I want to hear y'all stories. I want to be nosy. I ain't going to keep hearing all my business all the time.
We want to be nosy. It's not just show. We want to be nosy. You know, one time I had a parent come after me with a baseball bat. And she came after me with a baseball bat because her son and I were arguing, and I was like, her son has to leave my dwelling. He had to leave, and she got upset because I guess she didn't want her son to come over to her house. She wanted him to stay. So she came over to my house or whatever. He's arguing back and forth with me, clean this up, da-da-da. But her son was a dog. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to clean it up. I know my worth, whatever. So she goes to her car, gets a baseball bat, and she chases me with the baseball bat. I'm not about to sit here argue with nobody, mama. I'm not about to sit here, because mamas is crazy over their sons, man. And just like daddies are crazy over their daughters. I ain't fooling up with nobody parent, man. Not on that level.
How did she get in? How did the mom get into the business where a baseball bat was pulled? He went back and told her some stuff about you and then brung his mama back? Or?
Yes. He told his mother that I was yelling at him. I told him he got to leave. I'm putting his stuff outside, but it wasn't even like that. He did not tell the whole story. He did not say that he had women in my house, sleeping with women in my house. He did not say that he took my car for 5 days.
He's not here to defend himself. He's not here to defend himself on those allegations. Allegedly, he had women in your house sleeping with women. How do you know he had women in your house sleeping with women?
Don't say allegedly. I know, because honestly, I don't have blonde hair. I've never had blonde hair unless it was like outside of the household. I knew that wasn't my hair. And certain type of undies I'm not gonna wear. Like I'm not gonna wear like granny panties, and there were some granny panties at my house. And he got his mother involved, and she was like, because she knew her son was garbage. She knew he was trash, so she was trying to come at me. And sometimes mothers.
Was that your house?
It was my apartment. I was paying the bills. Her son didn't have a job. I was taking care of her son. At the time, I was younger. I was like in my early 20s. I didn't know no better. But now you think that would happen? No.
Well, of course not. But the fact that you was in that situation, usually those kind of guys are the guys that will have women in your house and leave granny panties laying around because they really don't got nothing to offer. So I'm assuming you must have thought he was really charismatic. He was really charming and fine to you, which he must have been to other women enough where you felt like you could pay the bills and everything. So, you want to do a little extra.
Don't. So I'm curious about your situation that you've had with any type of mother, father, because a man could have a run-in with a mother and a father. Like, I'm not going to have a run-in really with a father like that because the father's going to look at me like, oh, she's a female. I'm not getting involved. But a man, y'all could have issues with the mama and the daddy.
You know what, though? I'm the kind of person, if you got a problem with me, it's usually a you issue. So I never had a problem with nobody's parents. Not that I know of. Like maybe they said some stuff to their daughter or something without me. But I never got into it with nobody's parents or anything like that.
That's interesting.
Oh, wait. My first, well, it's not really an issue because my first baby mom, her mom loved me. Her mom loved me. Like,
yeah, how many baby mamas you got? Go ahead.
2. I got 2 kids. 2 kids, okay? I got 2 kids. But me and her mom was like really tight, probably too tight for her. She didn't like that we would talk behind her back because she used to always act like she was upset with me, but her mom loved me to death. But when she used to complain and do all of this stuff, her mom would reach out to me and be like, why are you doing this to my daughter? Why this and that? I'd be like, I didn't do nothing. She did it. And she'd be like, when she know that I'm telling the truth, she'd be like, I'm sorry. Like she kind of acting how I used to act. And she's kind of doing the things I used to do. Like she'll see it both ways, but I never had an issue where a father felt any kind of way about me. Like fathers usually love me because I take care of my responsibility. I don't beat their daughters. I don't put my hands on women or nothing like that. So, and I never done nothing. I never been caught cheating or anything. So it's not like no reason to really hate me.
Well, that's good. So I'm going to jump into this question. Then I have a question for you after. So Dontgettricked Podcast says most people don't listen to friends or parents. And when it ends, bad people say, man, I should have listened to my mom. LOL. My aunt didn't like one of my ex-girlfriends. And when it was over, she was right. So people always love to pull that card. Like my mama was right. My daddy was right. But at the end of the day, their opinion should not even matter. You shouldn't even validate, oh, they was right. Because to me, that's just like regret and kind of like, oh, I should have listened. you had a chance to listen, so you should have said, hey, I should have went with my gut feeling or whatever, because people gonna have an opinion regardless, and their opinion could be valid or not valid, and it's up to you to listen. So to me, I'm like, I would blame myself in that matter.
I can't even support that. For the one thing is there was no substance to it. Like that only matters if your aunt said, this girl does this, blah, 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 blah. And like your girl, she's abusive. Like, I don't like you being around her because I feel like she'll do something to harm you. And then one day she hits you over the head with a vase or something, and then you like, damn, my aunt told me she had that in her. But for somebody to just like in a vacuum say, I don't like that person, and then it don't work out, most relationships don't work out. So somebody will always seem right. You know, I could say I don't like somebody's husband, and then when they break up 20 years from now, I'm like, I told you I didn't like him. You're like, yeah, you was right. That don't mean that I was right on any level. That's just if you play the odds, most people don't stay together.
Right. So I mean, show you on point again tonight. I agree with you on some aspects, but let me ask you a question. If there is a woman that is putting her hands on a man and she's very, very abusive, how do you think a parent should handle that? Do you think the mom should step in, the dad should step in, or do you think the man should just handle his business and leave that woman? Like, how do you think that should pan out? Because oftentimes there's double standards when it comes to men and women. Like, I don't think that it's okay for a woman to put her hands on a man, but it's like, what do you do when a parent sees that type of behavior? Who steps in at that point?
You know, I tend to get that reaction out of women. Like once every 5 months, they might put their hands on me. I'm always abused, but I get that because I could be somewhat of an asshole as far as like, I think I'm above an argument. You know, like I'm a non-emotional person. I'm above an argument. I'm too good to argue with people. Like I don't argue with people over stupid stuff, and I don't care. Like I don't play the back and forth petty game. So like, let's say if you've done something that I can't really prove, but I feel funny about it, right? It don't got to be nothing major. You could have just like, we use the Cash App thing. Let's say we was chilling and somebody sent you some money. I don't like to get too deep into it because I feel like a bitch. Like even questioning a woman, because if I think you did something, I feel like I should just leave you. Like I don't even care about your answer. So if I'm not going to leave you or nothing, and I think it's something minor that I would never find the real truth about, I'll just kind of leave it flat. But because women know I'm so volatile, like I would just leave you over something so petty because it's me. They kind of overreact to try to prove that nothing happened, right? But I won't give them nothing. So like, let's say I seen that, I might say once like, somebody just sent you some money, and you might be like, oh, that ain't nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just keep watching TV. But in their mind, they like, this nigga probably about to go out and have sex with some girl, or this nigga probably about to kick me out, or he about to do this, that. So they'll keep trying to explain themselves, and I won't really be listening. And then you don't get a reaction out of me. Then you kind of overact. You're like, I ain't even do nothing. I hate this shit. And I'm like, why are you screaming? I didn't even say nothing. No, because I don't like this now. We were just having a good time. Now you ain't speaking. And I'm still not answering. Then it's like, fuck you. And you hit me. Boom. I'm just like, what you hit me for? I didn't do nothing. But that's how it usually happens with me. Like women I date, like I don't give the reaction they want. And then they start overplaying my character and my persona. And they think it might lead to something else. So they usually end up going overboard. I had it happen in front of my mom a few times and stuff like that. My mother, she violent. My mother's real hands-on. But my mother gets scared because she think I'm crazy. She think I'll snap and like do something real crazy. My mother used to say, I'll kill myself or something one day. She think I'm so crazy I'll kill myself. I don't know what the hell wrong with her. But anyway, so she don't like when women do that because she thinks I'm going to react in a bad way one day and then I'm going to get in trouble. So she'll step in and talk to the woman like, hey, don't do that to him. You know, he kind of off. I don't want him to do anything. Like he can't control himself on those levels, which I can. I never beat a woman, but my mom think that my attitude can get so crazy that anything can happen. So she kind of warns women like to keep their hands to themselves because they don't want to trigger me and I do something I don't really want to do. So my mom usually talks to the women, but I'll talk to them later.
Wow. I confront some women. We like that. Like, okay, say we arguing or whatever. and then we kind of get in that little shoving match. Not saying that a man's gonna beat you or you gonna beat the woman, anything like that, but women, we like to be, I'm saying, a little manhandled, and we like to be, the aggressor sometimes. And then your parent, like your mom, she knows how you are. She's automatically gonna come to your defense and talk to the woman. But what if it's something like, just flirtatious? Y'all have your little argument, y'all have your little makeup stuff, and then your mom gets involved. That could kind of throw a monkey wrench and stuff. I think we have to know when it's kind of serious and when it's not serious, and then involve our parents or our family members. You know what I mean? Because I could be getting in an argument tomorrow and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And shove. But I could just be acting in a moment, not hurting him. And then just makeup. We have some makeup sex afterwards. And I got my parents involved. And it's just like, why did I get my parents involved? And we just had some steamy hot sex after that. You know what I mean? So we just have to know when it's time to tap in with your parents.
Well, let me not exaggerate, because I've mastered the art of, I won't hit you, right? I know I don't like that. You get low on the, we need you drunk. No, but I mastered the art of getting into my character enough where you think I lost it, but I know how to lose it, how to still have it while losing it. I can walk that line for a good second. So I can flip over to that, tap into that anger just enough to scare you, like that shoving match you said. I will go there. Like, if you won't stop and you beating me over the head and I'm trying to walk out. Like, one time I had this chain and it might have cost me like $4,000. So I'm going to walk out and I wasn't giving the girl the reaction she wanted. So she grabbing my chain and I'm like, I don't give a fuck how mad you is. Like, I only had this chain about 2 weeks. Cost about $4,500. She was tugging on it. And I'm trying to get out the door. So I had grabbed her by the collar, like, boom, like the Undertaker. I'm like, touch my damn thing. I had to make it seem like you was one tug away from a violent act. Yeah, I had to put some strength. I had to make sure the veins was coming out. I'm kind of gunned up. So when I do that, they get a little, I've been in the back of the gym in case y'all wondering out there. But anyway.
Put them little guns down. Go ahead. Put them little guns down.
It ain't that little. But anyway, I was had to put a little something behind it, and I seen that look. So sometimes you gotta yoke them up and put a little fire behind them. Like, you hit me one more time, I don't care what's going to happen. I'm going to jail, blah blah blah. So I'll take it there, which I might yoke you up, but I ain't going to never strike you or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't hit you, but if
girls think that's sexy though.
It is.
Some girls think that's sexy, and then some girls don't.
It ain't some girls. You said it 3 times. Do you like to be thrown up against the wall? You like to start. You want a woman that jump on your back? No. And then he grab you and pin you on the wall. You like, do you get that little deep breath and look him in the eye? And you like to be thrown? That's a whole other subject. Go ahead, y'all. And audience, somebody jump in.
So, Akon, that relationship you was responsible for it ending. LOL. You ending relationship, so you parent now? I mean, what's really going on? So my man Jay Gray says it should be lessons learned when it comes to relationships.
I used to make that mistake all the time. We need to click on the profile.
So it should be lessons learned when it comes to relationships that turn out to be dead ends. I agree, but we should learn our lesson. But what about if a parent ends that relationship? Is that really a lesson that we take? All right, don't get my mama involved no more, or don't introduce her to my mama or my daddy no more. How do we take that when a relationship ends due to a parental unit stepping in? Like, do you say, mama, stay in your place, daddy, stay in your place? Or do you say, I'm not introducing her to my mother or my father? How do you handle that? I'm curious to know what the audience thinks about that. Like, what do you do? Especially you learn that your mother was already throwing salt in the game because she wanted you all to herself. Not saying that you was in love with your mother in that manner, but saying mothers love their sons. They
do. They don't like nobody where they got to compete for your attention, compete for your time, or feel like they coming in second. And they'll often create fake situations. Yeah, mothers will create situations where you have to choose this person or that person. So if you pick the wrong thing, they'll be like, "Oh, you picking that woman over me, or you did this over that." Like, they'll purposely put themselves, in it's always a this or that, or that or this situation.
I don't know no mamas that do that, and I literally have like 1, 2, 3, Four.
For
I
mama.
think I got like five brothers. Like I don't know no mama that does that. Like my mama don't do that. But what my mama does do is like she'll be quick if she see my brother's girlfriend's looking at them wrong or doing something they not supposed to do in her eyes. She'll automatically like, I don't like her. She said this or she did this. And I'm like, oh, you casting judgment on somebody you don't even really know. If that man is happy, let him be happy. And then my mother would be like, nah, she can't talk to me no more. I ain't going to her house no more. And that puts my brother in a tough situation.
Mother's killed me.
That puts my brother in a tough situation. That could put your son in a tough situation because you have to choose between your mother and your lover. Your mother ain't in your bed at night. So it's like, how do you choose as a man between your mother and your lover? Like, is that tough for y'all?
It shouldn't be. Like me, I don't play that game. I ignore it because the love I got for my mom is a whole separate love than the love I got for a woman. It's two different things. Like I love y'all for two different reasons. Like my mom is my mom. You genuinely care about me. Like if everything goes crazy, we gonna always be together. I'm always confide in you. I'm always do for you. You took care of me when I was a kid. You know, that's a different kind of love. This woman rubs my back and does my laundry and feeds me and this, that. Like I don't look for you for that kind of stuff. And we have sex. So that changes everything. Like I don't like this is two whole different things. Like me and my woman could fall out because you didn't have sex the way I wanted you to have it. Me and my mother is locked in for life over something different. So I feel like it's priorities when it comes. I don't think one is more important than the other. Obviously, your woman is because she's in your house every day. And so you're going to naturally tend to more of her needs because she's your responsibility. It's sort of like saying you care about your kid more than you care about somebody else. Like that's my responsibility. If a woman's in my house, that means their parents trusted them to be under my wing. So I have to provide for them. So it's a different kind of thing. But if my mom is in an emergency and I have to go do something with my mom, I also don't want my woman judging that either. Like, don't pin me against my mom. Don't be like, oh, you got to send your mother this money or you got to go visit your mom because whatever I got to do for my mom, I got to do for my mom, mind your business. And whatever I got to do for my woman, I want my mother to mind her business. Everybody mind their business. It's not a competition. I'm going to do right by both parties.
That's crazy because, you know, for those who believe in this, you know, the Bible says when you find a wife, if you leave your parents alone, right, and you kind of branch off and be with that woman. But at the end of the day, it's like, I like how you said, if my mother needs something, just let me take care of my mother's situation. But some women look at it like you're taking away from my household, you know, catering to your mother. To me, if a woman wants you to step back from your mother, that's a reflection of that woman, and that woman is not for you. So I want my man's mother to come or be very important in his life. To me, that relationship that we have is extremely important. Her opinion may not be as important, but the likability factor is important to me. And if that man is taking care of his mother, that means he's going to take care of you. So to me, it's a reflection of the man when he's taking care of his mother, right? But there comes a time when you shouldn't do certain things. Like, so, say, for example, your mama needs $75 and all you got is $75. I don't think you should send your mother to $75. I think you should send mother 50% of that or 25% of that and then keep the rest in your household. When it comes to giving your last to your parents, I don't think that's cool. But I do think that a man should take care of his mother in ways where he does not leave his mother hanging.
If you only got $75, you can't do nothing for nobody anyway. But anyhow,
I'm just using that for example.
If I only got $75, my mother need to send me $75. I'm gonna call her for $75. Hey, my mother's in here. Hey, mom. I was just telling them how if a woman say anything about you, she got to go, mom, because I don't play that. But
you know, mama, you know he lying. So let's jump into these comments. So Lee says, when your kids start dating, you don't think they should listen to you, or when your kids start dating, you don't think they should listen to you on their boyfriend, girlfriend. If you don't like them for whatever reason, just let them learn on their own. That is not true, because when it comes to little girls, it's like you want your little girl to be better than you. And if you see a pattern in a man and that little girl is dating a man like someone that you've already seen, you don't want her to make that same mistake. Yes, she does have to learn from it, but in the same concept, it's like, man, I don't want her to get her heart broken. So you naturally do whatever it is to protect your child. That's like a natural thing. You don't even know that you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, both of y'all are right. No, I agree, but I disagree, because people use that excuse to get at other people's business. you need to protect your child. You don't judge what kind of man she likes. Like if you don't like that person, that has nothing to do with you. You jump in when it's dangerous or it's a really bad situation. Like if a guy's if he's a drug dealer and you're a dad and you like, I don't want somebody to come in the house and shoot up your house, or I don't want you to be in love and this man goes to jail and then you stranded with nothing. If somebody's beating on your daughter and you want her to get out that relationship, but this is not a who you like kind of thing. Like, let's not make it like you get the right to speak on everybody's situation. Like, I didn't get to pick my mother. I didn't get to pick my dad. I might not agree with the kind of dad my mother picked for me. You know, I didn't go back. I didn't get to tell her, hey, why you pick this dad? Like, don't worry about what kind of woman I like or what I'm into. But if I'm doing something wrong that's causing me harm, then I want you to step in and be like, hey, don't do this. The way you're going to end up broke. Or why did you do this? If you ask me some questions, I will answer you if I feel like it's genuine. But don't just because you don't like the person or you think the girl's a hoe or whatever, or you think this, that you start speaking on a woman. I don't really like her, and you got no real reason. Like, it got to be something. Like, maybe the woman has a baby daddy and I got into a fight with this dude and you tell me I don't like this situation. I feel like she's putting you against her baby daddy. Like, if you got some advice like that, but I don't care about your personal opinion of the woman.
I mean, I disagree, but before I jump into why I disagree, hey, Mama Cunningham, thank you for joining us tonight. And this is extremely important because I'm sure that there are some people that Show had in his life that maybe didn't agree with, or you know, how did you kind of balance that when he kind of brought women home that you already knew from the gate this woman wasn't sugar honey iced tea? So this is what I disagree with you about, Show, is because, for example, and I'm a mother of all girls. If my daughter is bringing someone home that clearly I know this person does not have a job, he's out doing sugar honey iced tea on the sides of the streets, I'm going to protect my child from being with that type of person because you're guilty by association. And to me, my opinion does matter because you want the best for your child. Granted, the child may sneak behind your back, still do whatever it is that they want to do, but I'm still going to voice my opinion, let my child know, because at a teenager or whatever, they're not smart enough to know to make the right decision. So that's when you have to step into their life and say, you know what? I know you think you know what you're doing, but you really don't. And it's up to them to take your advice, but I think you should step in and offer some type of advice. Now, granted, if that person was on their own and they're paying their way through the world and not asking me for sugar honey, I see my kid is responsible enough, I'm not even going to offer opinion. I may say, hey, I was in a relationship or I had this type of situation, but I'm not going to voice my opinion because at that point my child's paying their way through the world. But I'm definitely going to step in and say, listen, that joker ain't sugar honey iced tea. You want to get in trouble? Don't call me out when you in the jail cell or something like that. I'm going to do that.
You didn't disagree with me. That's what I said. I said if they're in a situation that you feel like you need to offer advice, like if they're in a bad situation, then you step in and say something. I'm just talking about opinionated stuff like, oh, I don't like that dude, or I ain't like how he, like something that you look for in a man that he doesn't do. Y'all don't have the same.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, like
I
maybe
see what you're saying now.
Yeah, like, okay, like let's say you don't believe in 50-50, right? In the relationship.
No, heck no.
Me neither. Because I like to rule my house and kick people out when they do something wrong. So I agree with you. I like to pay all the bills. But anyway,
go ahead.
Let's say your daughter is a 50-50 person, right?
She is. Go ahead.
You shouldn't step in and be like, I don't want you paying 50% of her bill. That's not your arrangement. She's doing that because it's something she wants to do because she wants a certain kind of control or she wants a certain kind of household. What she likes is not necessarily what you like. If it's dangerous or something else, she might not want a man for the reasons you want a man. She might not get the pleasure out of what you get the pleasure out of. That's two different viewpoints. Now, if it's dangerous or it's going to lead her to a messed up road or she's making a fool out of herself some way, you can step in. But if y'all just differ on what kind of men y'all into, that's her opinion.
Yeah, because honestly, you hit the nail on the head. You know, I don't believe in 50-50, but my daughter, she's like, man, I want to do 50-50. So children usually do the opposite of what we want them to do. And when I had my daughter, I wasn't old enough to know, you know, hey, I was immature, right? And I didn't know my daughter was actually going to do the opposite in certain things. So when I try to lead by example to her, my example was something that she didn't want to go by. So she doesn't believe in the 50-50 thing. She solely believes in people she believes in this new way of thinking. And I found myself getting upset, like, yo, he has to be responsible. And I felt bad because my daughter is 17 and she's dating a guy, and they've been dating for a while. And I told him, I said, hey, if you date my daughter, you're going to have to pay rent in my household. And I felt bad. And my daughter's like, you're pushing him away. And I'm like, well, he wants to see my child. You're going to have to pay something in here. And my daughter's like, Mom, my daughter resented me from that. So I think we could push our children away by trying to push our viewpoints out on our children. And it was a lesson I had to learn. I should have stayed in my place, and I apologize to them both. And I love her boyfriend dearly. And that's just something that comes with being a parent and learning. But we always want our parent or our children to be like better than us. And for me, I think my daughter does not need a man that she should pay 50-50 with. I think she's a queen, and I think she needs to be pampered, catered to. But she looks at it like he does treat her like a queen, just because they don't do he doesn't pay for everything. He does treat her like a queen in other ways. So, and I just had to deal with it. It still burns inside, but I just have to deal with it and hope that I'll raise the rest of my daughters where they like, hell no, that 50-50 stuff is not going to work for me.
Yeah, that ain't for her. Hold on. Miss Gray saying there are mothers out there that will go there and don't want to seek to understand or hear nothing. And even worse, when a significant other go back.
My bad.
Even worse, when a significant other try to cause problems regarding your parents. Yeah, that leads me to my ultimate segue I wanted to get to. Okay, with all that being said, how do y'all deal with? How would you? Let's say you were dating a man, right? Your parents ain't like him, whatever. Mm-hmm. And your mother or your dad reached out to the guy and was like, you need to, like you said, let's use your situation. You be like, you need to pay something here. And then the guy told you, I ain't paying for nothing, bitch. Mind your business. Yeah. So there are people who, women or men, cross the boundaries with other people's parents. Like you might call somebody mother a B, you might do this to that. I've seen that happen plenty of times. Or mind your fucking business, blah, 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 blah. How would you handle that? If you know, like your parents was being overbearing to the person, so the person doesn't like your parent, and one day they just be like, I'm sick of this bitch, won't you mind your fucking bit? And you had to separate them. Could you be with somebody after they done that to your parent? How would you handle it?
That's a really, really good question. And it's a tough question, right? Because the era I was born in, we don't disrespect people's parents. We don't disrespect elders, period, if we're in a relationship or not. So for me, that would be a deal breaker, because if you disrespecting my mother, you'll disrespect me like that. And I'm not going to have no man calling me no B, regardless, unless it's in an intimate setting where we just playing around, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm not going to have a man calling me a B. So I wouldn't want him to call my mother a B, and I will have to draw the line right there, because honestly, if you do it to my mother, you do it to my father, you'll do it to me, and that's not something I would take lightly. And I wouldn't, because he called my mother a B, I would take it as if this person has no filter and this person has no self-control. So it wouldn't be a good look for me, and it would have to be off with his head at that point.
So it's an automatic 99.99999% chance you out of there. You won't talk about. So if your mother was like, so let's say you and the guy was arguing, like you said, and you started it. So you doing what you do to get pinned on the wall and have wild sex later, but you're really not that upset. You're a little upset, and you get to shoving him in the back, and he like, yo, keep your damn hands off me, whatever, blah blah blah, and you keep shoving him, and then he turn around and he like, man, get your fucking hand. And he mush you a little bit, and your mother like, don't fucking touch my kid, you bitch ass, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and then he turns around like, well, she should have kept her hands to herself. Mind your fucking business, whatever, blah, blah, blah. In that moment, when you know you kind of incited it and you kind of got it riled up, are you going to look at it like he's this disrespectful guy and this can't be fixed? Even though y'all relationship is great, y'all been having a great time, y'all been together for years. He slipped up in the heat, just like you was hitting him. Would you slip up? You're not going to talk to him? You're going to be like, go get your stuff and get out. You're going to throw 3 years down the drain because he had a verbal slip up. Your mother was calling him all kinds of BA niggas and blah, 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 blah. And he just was like, mind your business, bitch. He had a moment, and you're not going to like just be upset or talk to him like this can't happen no more. You're going to quit him. Your 2-3 years is done.
So that's a good question, and really a good kind of scenario that you threw out there. But honestly, I would still be off with his head, because for me, I like a man that's able to think level-headedly. And when we act out and we do say things that we don't really mean, I get that. But in the same sentence, you have to have self-control as an adult. And if that adult does not have self-control, then I don't know what type of situation that person would get themselves in. So if it's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, if you can't control your emotions, you are not for me. Because I can't deal with somebody that's that enraged that they can't be strategic enough to walk away from a certain situation. So for me, it's off with your head.
You know what's unfair about that? I'm glad you said that, because this is where I tap into my high value man, Kevin Samuels, like personality, my other side, minus the fruitopianness. Listen, why do y'all want men to have this great self-control when you can snap out and put your hands on a man? You can abuse
I didn't
like
say that. I didn't say that. I don't think it's right.
Sometimes you might get the pushing and shoving. You might want to put your hands on. So why don't you hold yourself? How come your mama couldn't not call him a B-A-N, a bitch ass nigga? Why she had to call him that? Why she couldn't? Why everybody else get to get out of control? You pushed me, that started.
But that's for me to talk to my mama about. That's not for me, for him to talk to my mama about. If my mama can't control herself, let me address my mama. You know what I mean? Don't you address my mama. And I do think that women, we are emotional beings, and sometimes a woman can't control herself, but those are signs that are red flags, especially for a man that is also unable to control himself. So if you see that woman is not able to have a filter, then if you're the type that has a filter, that's not for you. You just have to see what type of person is for you. I'm not going to be the type of woman that's flying off at the handle at my man, screaming, yelling, shoving, pushing, because I'm mature enough to know that I'm not putting myself in a situation where I hurt somebody or I say something I don't mean or anything like that. And that comes with maturity. Granted, if you've seen the 20-year-old Paris, maybe I'll jack a dude up, right? I'll jack a dude up anytime.
Putting your hands on them, man.
You know what I'm saying? Pat, 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 pat. But the new me and the more mature me, I would never put my hands on a man. First of all, I don't want nobody putting their hands on me, so you treat people how you want to be treated. But if my parent said something wrong to my significant other, I'm checking my parent off the rip. I wouldn't expect that person to check my parent because that's my parent at the end of the day. Let me handle that. And if I can't handle that and I need you to step in, then I'll communicate with you at that point. It's a maturity thing. I'm not going to disrespect nobody, and nobody's going to disrespect me and or my army, my people I come with.
I was just being spicy because I actually agree with you. Like, I'm not going to...
I'm going to break it down in philosophy terms. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
I'm not going to curse at nobody's parent. Now, your dad, he got a short rope because he a man. And
my dad doesn't. My dad has a very long... Honestly, my dad will try to mend things instead of be like, you know what, y'all leave. Because there's been plenty of times that I call my father and I'm like, Pops, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to walk away. And I don't go into detail with certain sugar honey I see, but I'm like, Pop, I can't take this no more. And my dad is not the type of dad, or parent shouldn't be the type of parent that takes their child's side. They should, because they don't notice the totality, right? They should automatically try to be the peacemaker instead of trying to turn the other person against the other person. You know what I mean? My dad is the peacemaker. So my dad's like, think about it, try to work it out, take some deep breaths. My dad is never like, fudge that dude, or my dad is never like that. So I think as parents, we need to check ourselves because we don't want to give our children the wrong advice, and then they start hating us and not talk to us at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was saying in terms of like, okay, if your mama was talking crazy to me, if I snapped on her, it was a conscious decision. I just said F her. Like, I don't even care what happened with the relationship because I'm sick of her, period. So like, I can take that because it's just a woman talking. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But if it's your dad, I'm going to have a shorter rope because I'm like,
why?
Because I won't go crazy. If he keep it respectful, like, hey man, I think you need to leave. Okay. But if he like, get the fuck out, you motherfucker, that's a man talking to me crazy. I'm not going to look at it like that's your daddy, because your daddy is a physical guy who can do harm to me, and he's talking to me crazy. And I know that he has a woman and he's been in these situations before. I know this is his daughter, but if he wasn't at harm, like if I was calling you a B in front of him or something, I could see him getting that crazy. If I put my hands on you in front of him, I could see him getting that crazy. I wouldn't want nobody to touch my daughter. But if it's just like me and you having a basic disagreement, he get all puffy chest, I'm gonna be like, what you gonna do? Like, I would naturally go into the mode like, who the hell are you talking to? Like, I don't give a damn about your father prowess. Like,
is that an ego thing? Is that an ego thing with men, or is it just like That to me is not good. It's not good because what if you and my daddy start fighting, you're tasseling and stuff, and somebody end up in prison for something that shouldn't have
I don't
happened?
want it to happen. I think your dad, like, if my daughter, if I had a daughter of that age and she was dating a woman, dating a man, and he did something, y'all had a little petty argument. I know people argue, so I would kind of be like, "Hey, man, y'all work that out. Hey, stop that arguing. Y'all do this." I'll offer some good advice, or I'll be like, or if I was at my madness, like, "Hey, y'all go home and argue like that. Y'all come back when y'all cool." Because I know people argue. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't argue with my woman or nobody. I never argue with a woman, and that happens. That's not a bad. But if I was like, "Hey man, who the fuck you talking to?" I would expect. I'm challenging him as a man now. This ain't about me being like, you can't ball your fist up like you punking me, like who the fuck you talking to? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, like this ain't got nothing to do with your daughter no more. You need to watch your tone now because you talking like I'm going to respect your daughter out of respect's sake. I don't care that you upset. Like, don't act like your anger is what's stopping me from doing something. Like, I don't care how mad you get.
I mean, I can get
don't
that.
punk me in front of my woman.
Right. Punk me in silence, right?
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, like if you just appeal to somebody as a man, like, "Hey man, these women, this and that, I know she did this, that, I've been through that, we ain't got to react like that, bro. Like, you just go home, handle that." You be like, "Oh, okay," you can do that respectfully. But if you like, "Hey man, what, you won't get that kind of reaction out of a dude, like, unless he's scared of you.
All right, so let's jump into these comments. So Lee says, "Nah, can't be disrespectful to my parents. It's like a deal breaker to me. Come for me, but don't come for my mom or my dad. I'm fighting my brothers and sisters. It's if they disrespectful to my parents. I mean, some of us, you know what I'm saying, our parents are our life, and our mother, especially if your mother is, I'm not saying this about your mom or anyone, but what I'm saying is sometimes our parents, they they cast judgment and really don't know their place. So if somebody is disrespectful to them, you have to check both parties, right? You have to check your mother and you got to check your friends because your mother could be saying something that's disrespectful. I don't think it's good to be one-sided. So it shouldn't be a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker to me, but what's a deal breaker is if they both can't come to terms and say, "I accept what I did," or whatever. But everybody plays a role, right? Because if you disrespected my parents, I'm sure it was something that triggered you to disrespect him, her, whatever it may be. So kind of be fair to all parties, if you will.
And also, like, on a quick note, it's two different kinds of disrespects. Like you said, if you call my mother a B, I feel like you don't got no respect for me. Like, you could have just voiced your displeasure with me and then I'll talk to my mother. Like you were saying, I don't need you arguing with my mother. But, women got a habit of, if you arguing with a woman and you say something crazy to them, they might be like, "Your mother," or something like that. I won't take that as disrespect. Not too crazy, because I realize like we're saying things to hurt each other. So I know women get emotional and they just say stuff that they don't mean. Like if you did snap and you was like, "Man, shut up, you B," and your mother a B. I ain't gonna feel like you called my mother a B because you didn't actually call my mother a B. You just responded to something I said that hurt you, and I know you just talking. So I wouldn't really take it like that. But if we was like in good spirits, if we were just sitting around and you was like, "Man, your mother, I don't like that bitch," then I would take that personal because you meant that and you just called my mother a B. But if we was like in an argument and you said something just to get under my skin, I know you don't mean that. And my mother didn't hear it. Who cares? People say a lot of stuff. Like,
I don't like that though. I don't like that because sometimes people in certain situations, they really mean what they say, right? And I get it. Sometimes when people are angry, they may say things that they can't take back. But a lot of times people, when they're arguing and fussing and fighting, they really mean what they say and they wait for the right time to say it. So if you calling my mother a bitch, or I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, y'all, I ain't gonna say bitch like that." But if you calling my mother a bitch, you calling my mother a B and we argue, your mother is a B. You thought my mother was a B before we started arguing. You get what I'm saying? Why bring my mother into this? We're not children. At this point, we're adults. So if you say, "Oh, your mother is a B," you always thought she was a B, bruh. You ain't just automatically, "Oh, you mad at me? You gonna call my mother a B or you gonna call my father a B?" That's something we do in high school. Then I will forgive it. But as grown adults, I'm not gonna forgive you if you be like, "Well, your mother is a B." Ninja, you thought mother was a B all along.
Well, not true. What, y'all women are emotional, and I learned that.
It is true.
I learned that from my mama. My mother used to get mad and call me a B. Like, am I a B? No, she's just mad. Like, they say, y'all say all kinds of stuff when y'all want to get. Y'all not physical people, so y'all gotta use y'all words to hurt people. Y'all don't mean half of the stuff y'all say. Like if I did something to a woman this time, they'd be like, "You old bitch ass nigga, you don't think I'm a BA nigga?" Because if you get into a problem, you gonna come get me to protect you. I know you don't think I'm a B. You wouldn't be with a BA nigga. You just saying that because you're upset. I know y'all don't mean half the stuff. You gotta say something. You can't beat me.
Some of us don't mean what we say, but some of us actually mean what we say. And
but we know when you mean what you say, and that's what I mean. Like if that's why I said if the vibe was going right and you were just talking about my mother, like man, that bitch needs to not, but because that's a conscious mind, and there was no reason to say that. That's on your mind. But if I just called you a B and you like your mother's a B, and you were just hanging with my mother yesterday, y'all were just chilling and talking, I don't think you think my mother's a B. I think you wanted to hurt me because I said something back to you.
But what if she's just chilling with your mother so that she could be in your good graces, and she really do think your mother is a B? You never know what somebody's motive is. I mean, you can't just assume that.
You can tell. You can tell.
You really can't, because some people could put on
if I didn't like your parents.
Nah, some people could put on a front like that. You know, you don't have to like my dad, but you could be in his face every day because you're trying to impress me, but you really don't secretly like him. I don't trust people like that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody actually, your mother's a B, you thought she was a B regardless if you hanging out with her. Nah, you don't disrespect her if you don't think she's a B. Don't let that come out your mouth.
A B is like, it's random and it's up for interpretation. Now, if they say something personal like your mama's a bum, and then start naming why she's a bum, like your mama ain't even got no car with your broke ass mom. Like you start naming characteristic traits of my mama's problems, then I'm like, oh, you was thinking this about my mother. Like a B, what's a B really? If I say you a B, what's
my dog, I get it, but at the end of the day, it's a harmful, hurtful word. Like I wouldn't want nobody to call my mother or my father a B because they're parents, they're elders at this point. And to me, I was always raised where you respect elder people, and I'm an elder to my daughter's boyfriend, and you know what I mean. So it's just more so don't disrespect if it's not your lane.
Paris, look at me in the camera. Get your eyes in the camera. I know you've been drinking. Let me open them wide. You like the kind of person that call your man's mother a B when you mad? You never call nobody.
No, I would never.
You never called no boyfriend mother's a B.
Yes, when I was younger. Yes, my mouth was filthy. Yes, when I was younger, my mouth was filthy, dilthy. I needed soap in my mouth every other day. It was filthy.
Okay, and when you said it, was you just talking ish, or did you mean it?
I really meant it. I really meant it. The mother really was a B, and I'll tell her she was a B to this day, even though we're not together. I would say, yo, your mother's a B because I mean it.
Well, one of them chased you with a bat, so she probably. One of them chased you with a bat, so I can see why you feel that way.
Yes, but I'm just saying, I would like if the mother was a B, the mother's a B. You can't help if you're being a B, but at the end of the day, you respect people. You treat people how you want to be treated. And if you treated me like a B, you a B, regardless if I'm good or bad, right? So back in the day, yes, yo, you a B. Beep, 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 beep. Because I knew how
to about this. You want to unload. You're thinking about that mother right now. That mother a B.
I'm thinking about that mother right now.
Mother ain't no B.
Beep, 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 beep. But honestly, I love that when relationships, parents get along, because my like if I have a mother in my life, I want her to be like my mother, right? And I want to have that relationship where we're one, because if you're around somebody every day, that's your family, right? And you want to get along. I don't like tension. I don't like stress. I don't like anything that makes my household or my situation disruptive. So sometimes it's not all about how I feel, it's how you help and heal the situation, if that makes sense. I personally don't take things personal a lot, right? I am a female. Yes, I am emotional, but I know how to deal with my emotions. And a lot of women don't know how to deal with their emotions. Just like women say a lot of men are immature, a lot of women are immature too. And it's unfair to put that unnecessary stress on a man. If you don't like that man's mother, it should be off with your head. You should walk out of the city because you're going to stress that man out, man.
I think if you don't like my mother, you should just keep it to yourself. You're not dating my mother. You don't have to see my mother but so often. Like you don't have to like her.
She should keep it to herself. She should let you know, because then she could mess something up with you and your mother at that point. Let you know, hey, yo, I don't like your mama, and you make that decision if you want to keep up with her or whatever it be. But that'll stress you out.
If you don't like my mother, just keep it to yourself. Like be cordial. I don't have to like your mother. I might not like your mother, but I would never let you know I don't like your mother because I would treat her with respect. It don't matter who I like. Like we. So
how could you respect somebody? How could you respect somebody you really don't like though? Like you could find yourself subconsciously disrespecting them. I mean, you may not mean it or you may not know it. If you don't like the person, there's gonna be some type of slip up where you disrespect the person subconsciously. You may not know it.
Paris Lauren.
Yes, talk to me, Showy.
You don't like when niggas pay for stuff with Cash App. You don't like when they
No,
use a time card. You don't
no,
like 50-50. I might not like you, but we cordial.
right.
I be like, but we cordial though. I don't have to show you I don't like you. I could be like, I
But
could
you gonna respect me, right? You
yeah,
gonna respect me.
it's easy. I don't have to like you. Don't have to like everybody. Just be nice. Be a regular person. Like just
Yeah,
you
but
don't like somebody.
for me, a man shouldn't want to be with a woman that the woman does not like their mother.
Why not? Like you don't have to like my mother. My mother might not be likable. Maybe I only like her because she's my mother. Maybe I know my mother ain't likable.
Okay. The mother's opinion doesn't matter, but to me, the woman, if the woman does not like your mother, that's gonna cause disruption in your household.
No, not unless she wanted to cause disruption. You don't have to be a problem.
Well, what if y'all have children together and you need the children to go over your parents' house, or you have
adults and drop my children off and be grown ups? Y'all, what y'all gonna have to? You gonna walk by like I don't like you? Here the kids. Like you don't have to say all that. Just give the kids.
Right, but some people are unable to control their emotions, and then the children suffer. It's like it's unfair. So to me, if the person does not like your parents, then that's something that the person should evaluate if that person should be in their life or not. But if the parents don't like the person, who cares? Because the parents are not dating that person. But if the person you're in a relationship does not like your mother or your father, that could be a deal breaker for me.
Listen, people go to work every day, don't like their boss. People go to school every day, don't like their teachers. We learn at a young age that you don't have to like people. You have to do what you got to do to get through a situation. We're mature.
You don't. But in a relationship, it's supposed to be harmony. Who wants that toxic?
I'm in a relationship with you. You're not in a relationship with my parent.
Right? You don't. But
you got to deal with my parent.
You don't, but if you laying in the bed with your girl every night and she be like, yo, your mother can't come over, or I don't want to see her around here. And what if your mother just want to go shopping and bring you over some stuff? She like, nah, she got to drop it off at the corner. That's going to cause unnecessary stress.
Because you're not able to distinguish between not liking her. You're putting your not liking to action now. Like if I don't like your dad, I wouldn't tell you your dad couldn't come over. I wouldn't tell you your dad couldn't bring nothing. Like now you're going too far. Keep it to yourself. It's okay to just keep it to yourself.
Listen, I like Bucci's comment. He says it's a general principle to extend a fundamental degree of respect to elders regardless. Bearing some extreme showing of outward disrespect, it's your job as a child to check your parents and make them respect your relationship. Parents can tuck their pride and be grown too. My man, let me tell you something. I'm about to drop this wine bottle. Ooh, he nailed it. I mean, it's a general principle to extend respect to your parents. But if your man is blatantly laying there every night, hey, yo, your dad can't come over, especially if your dad is and you are close, how you think that's going to make the person feel? It's going to tear them up inside. You get what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be able to be with a man who don't like my daddy.
First of all, let me say I agree with Bucci, but I want you to know he's like one of those player dudes who's good with words. He's real charismatic. He one of them. He always keep at least 10 girlfriends at a time, so you can't really. He know the right thing to say.
You know what?
He know the right things to say. But he's usually right. He's a very intellectual guy. But I agree. But I just think we can control ourselves better. It's not always about who we like and who we don't like. You can not like somebody and be respectful at the same time. Just because I don't like people, I don't like a lot of people, but I don't go out my way to disrespect them or make people uncomfortable. If I don't like your friend, if we and you dating, and I didn't like one of your homegirls, I'm not gonna make your girlfriend feel unwelcome. Like you're gonna come in the room with your girlfriend, I'm gonna say, hey, what's up? And I'm gonna go in my room and watch TV, or I'm gonna sit there and I'm not gonna start an argument because I don't like your girlfriend. That's your girlfriend. It's not for me to like.
But if my man don't like my girlfriend, she's not gonna be at my house because my man comes first.
Get that hoe out of here. That hoe gotta
go. My man comes first. So if he tells me he doesn't like my girlfriend,
she gotta leave.
Right, my man come first because the girlfriend ain't paying my bills, or the girlfriend ain't giving me no back rubs or sucking my toes, so she gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect my man to be like, "Oh, let me put up with her."
Wait! I remember the very first episode of Showtime in Paris. You was against toe sucking. I turned you out. You went.
I am using that as an example. Okay.
Why would that come to your mind? That has nothing to do with nothing.
Because
maybe that woman ain't
maybe I dipped in that arena. Maybe I dipped in that arena, show. Maybe I dipped in that arena, but at the same time,
all respect.
At the same time, I'm not gonna have my man feel like he doesn't have a say so when it comes to friends, right? Sometimes friends, I know you longer than I know my man, but that friendship is good, but you got to respect my man. You got to respect my household. If my man don't want you in my house, you're not coming in my house. But if it's my parent, it's a whole different subject, because a friend could leave you and not be your friend any day, but your parents are always going to be your parents.
This is true. I see we kind of went over time. I'm not really a time.
Oh yeah. Joey, take us out. Take us out. You know, we
what
having
I'm
a
gonna
good
say
conversation.
is, I appreciate. Thank you, first of all, Miss Gray. You always support. You always here. You always.
Miss Gray, that's a Mr. Gray.
No, it's Miss Gray. You need to click on the profile.
Oh, sugar honey, I see. I didn't know.
Exactly. You know your audience. Check the people. Anyway, I like her. I'm really dedicated to y'all. But I'm y'all favorite. So anyway, I just want to say thanks,
I'm the
Miss Gray.
favorite, show. I'm the favorite. Go ahead.
Whatever. You're a little cuter, but it depends on what lighting we under. But thanks, Miss Gray. Thanks, Booch, my man, always coming through. Appreciate the Don't Get Tricked Podcast Network. This episode 5 of Showtime in Paris. It was a good topic. You know, we got a little intellectual and deep and got into the family thing. I'm sure we'll be back ratchet next week because, you know, we built our activity. This was the most cleanest conversation we had. She went to sucking toes at the end, so it kind of got out of hand. But because she couldn't hold it, she went a whole hour, but then the liquor started hitting and she had to talk about toes and getting spanked and getting thrown up on the wall and all that. We'll be back to the ignorance y'all love next week as I think of a real juicy topic, but I appreciate y'all's support. Next week, I want y'all to clean y'all apartments or get to one little section where you can't see the panties on the floor or the socks, because I really want y'all to click in and chime in and talk some stuff with us. So if anybody want to come in, don't be shy. Don't be nothing. Paris don't always look good, but she still come on here every day. So if you're not looking good or feeling good, you know, click in. Go ahead, Paris.
Tap in. And I just want to second what Show said. I mean, we would love for you guys to come on and talk sugar honey iced tea with us. Even if you tap in, even if we don't agree with you, we're going to respect you. We're going to respect your opinion. And I just want to say thank you to all the loyal viewers and everybody who taps in with us every Thursday right here in Showtime in Paris, brought to you by Dontgettricked Network. And I want to make sure you guys go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Oh my gosh. So just because we're doing, you know, our podcast and we may be uploading some other stuff on there, you never know. But the only way you will figure that out is if you subscribe to our channel. And you know what I'm saying?
You're so good at this. That's how you get them to pay for the bills.
I'm saying though, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got a good mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying? My mouth works. But anyways, I'm trying to keep it PG. I'm trying to keep it PG. Can I get on the next one? Yes, you can definitely get on the next one. We would love for you to be on the next episode. Yes, we would love for you to be on the next episode.
Whatever she say, you got to go.
Yes. So what I will do is I'll connect with you and ensure that you are on our next episode, because we would love for you to be one of our guests as we talk about the juicy topics that we talk about.
Who like the spankings and who don't?
Something spicy. Like we gotta smack it up. Lick it up, run it down.
Do you like bruises on your left or right cheek? We're gonna get into the good stuff next week. We'll see you. Or
bruises on your left or your right cheek. Did you really take it there?
Listen, that's a topic for next week. That's a topic for next week.
We gotta do bruises on your left or your right cheek. But what we can talk about is something like this, right? We could talk about, you know, do women really get turned on when guys get aggressive or abusive? Oh my gosh, some women love that shit. And how does a man know how far to take it when he's going to aggression? You know what I mean? He says, I'm all of it. Let's do this. We will be coming on next Thursday, same time, same place here at Showtime in Paris. And we will make sure that we connect with you so we can bring you on as a guest. Be prepared, like Show said, get you a nice little corner seat. Make sure you don't have no panties, no drawers, nothing on the floor.
One man. We're going to get spicy next week. So we got the guy. We
got a man. And women, you don't have to be on my side. Typically, you could disagree with me and I'll still love you regardless, but I am going to respect you. Show. Take us on out. All
right, y'all. Appreciate everything, even Paris. We agreed to disagree on most occasions, but we got a little spicy at the end, but it's all love here. See y'all next week, 8:30. Don't Get Tricked Podcast Network by Showtime in Paris. We'll be on episode 6. We'll think of something spicy for y'all next week. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Get us out of here, Paris.
Got you.